Qué rollo, quiero mandar un saludo a mi amigo Goodfella de parte de tu amigo Jaime Munguía. Un abrazo, carnal. Ánimo.
All right, man. Oscar De La Hoya believes that the Canelo beef started when he said Saul Alvarez should move on from Eddie Reynoso. Let's talk about that. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live, drop a video. See it right there. He says that the breakup between Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya was one of the most high-profile splits in recent boxing history involving a fighter and promoter. Alvarez sued Golden Boy streaming service DAZN in September 2020 to break away from a lucrative deal and thus became the most prized free agent in the sport. De La Hoya helped build Alvarez over a course of nearly 10-year stretch that ultimately landed undisputed super middleweight champion, a 10-fight deal with DAZN in 2018 that could have been worth up to $365 million. However, the relationship fracture emerged between the promoter and pugilist and eventually resulted in a split. Alvarez has landed on his feet fantastically during his post Golden Boy days. As BoxingScene.com writers Keith Ike reported in February, Alvarez can make up to $100 million altogether after he completes a fight with Bevo on May 7th and Gennady Golovkin on September 17th. And this is, I can't pronounce his name, who wrote it, but man, they're cool. Shout out to you. De La Hoya is busy building up the next two Button stars in a separate zone show headlined by Virgil Ortiz March 19th and Ryan Garcia April 9th. Ortiz entertained the idea of joining forces with Alvarez and Eddie Renato and trainer Renato before billing Manny Robles as his new head coach. While Garcia decided to end a 3.5 year run in San Diego stable last month and left Alvarez next. De La Hoya gave him some additional thoughts on why Alvarez decided to steer his career in a different direction away from him. He said, quote, "Look, I've been thinking about a lot about what exactly happened and took place. Canelo said that I wasn't loyal, and I know where that comes from." De La Hoya said, told Boxing.com in the interview. He said, "Quote, I remember giving an interview and not criticizing Eddie Reynoso, but kind of telling maybe Canelo can use a different trainer or somebody new and different that can show him different techniques, just the way I had changed trainers, the way Ryan is changing trainers. It only helps. So I believe that the criticism there that I had towards Eddie Reynoso didn't rub off the right way with Canelo. So now I'm disloyal, and it's okay. It's fine. I had no issue with that. If Canelo came up to me and we shook hands, then everything is fine. It's no big deal. I hold no grudges whatsoever." De La Hoya is adamant that he will once again do business with Alvarez in the near future, although De La Hoya continually praises Alvarez as boxing number one fighter. Both in interviews via social media, he believes he has two fighters who can best boxing's biggest breadwinner. He said, at one point we are going to have to face him with either Jaime Munguia, Gilberto Ramirez, or whichever weight class Canelo chooses to fight," said De La Hoya. Continue quote, "We'll have him kind of locked in a corner. Jaime is being groomed to be the next big star. And what better fight than a fight with Canelo in the all Mexican clash? We haven't seen one of those in a long time at the highest level, so that's an idea. So since becoming the world titleist for the first time in 2011 in a span of 24 fights, Alvarez has fought just four fighters of Mexican heritage: Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Alfredo Angulo, Josito Lopez, and Alfonso Gomez. Alvarez has maintained since he's Mexico's biggest box representative, he doesn't prefer to fight Mexican fighters anymore, but he's willing to on a case by case basis. Miguel Ramirez are both from Mexico. Quote, "It's a sentiment that I got from him that Canelo doesn't want to fight Mexican fighters," said De La Hoya. "But in order to be great, you have to fight everybody. Jaime and Gilberto are going to be knocking on his door soon." So shout out to Manicool, shout out to him for the article. But I mean, it is what it is. I thought that the beef started, in my opinion, from me watching, observing from afar. I thought that beef started in the Mayweather fight when Oscar De La Hoya was talking all that junk about how Canelo was going to be Floyd, and he had his henchmen and Stevie Kim and Doug Fisher from Ring Magazine going around saying how Canelo was too young, too spry. He was going to beat Floyd. It's a young man's game. And ultimately, Oscar De La Hoya went into rehab It wasn't there to support Canelo Alvarez for that fight. And that's kind of when I thought the beef kind of happened, in my opinion, from watching from afar. That that relationship started to hemorrhage. I guess it started to break apart. That's when I acknowledge you because Oscar De La Hoya, right before that fight, ran in rehab, and Canelo left. It felt like he left him out to dry. So he's saying he told him because he criticized Eddie Renasso, and I remember Floyd Mayweather criticized Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward trainer, saying that he didn't know how he never fought before. So how I'm paraphrasing. So how can he be a boxing trainer if he never competed before, if he never boxed before? And he apologized for what he said about Virgil, which he was out of pocket. But Canelo and Eddie Renasso, just as Virgil and Andre Ward got it out the mud. What I'm saying? You gotta forget about the Renasso Pops too, who helped them out a lot too. So, a lot of them got it out the mud, bro. So I definitely feel, where he coming from. Um, I definitely feel where he coming from, honestly, bro. So I mean, that's what Oscar De La Hoya's recollection of it. That's his vantage point. Could he be lying? Could be lying, but um, this is his that's his point of view. Now Canelo might say that might have been a part of it. It might be a broader view, but he had one job to do, and that was not fumble the bag. And all that one job he had to do, he fumbled the bag. He had to keep one fighter happy, and that was Canelo Alvarez, and he just didn't keep him happy. Simple as that. He had one job to do, was to keep the dude happy. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Keep him happy. Keep him happy. And he couldn't keep him happy. You know. Now, after he lost to Floyd, then nothing. Yeah, he said this after he lost to Floyd, and then on top of that, you ghosted him right before that fight. You wasn't there to support him. I think it was like right before the fight he went into rehab or something like that. And that's his personal preference. But Canelo fought, he left him alone. Then you come back and criticize my trainer, which a lot of people saying he should have left Eddie Renasso after that fight, and he stuck by him. And look at him, he's still on top of boxing. He's still knocking people out. He's still thugging it out. He's still defeating people. So like I said before, well, I mean, it is what it is. He made the right decision in hindsight. He not like Oscar Ryan and jumping coast to coast. He got loyalty. Now he were off 2 or 3 in a row. You know what I'm saying? Or had 2 or 3 or 4 shaky more performances, which he did end up having more shaky performances after that because he had the album, he had the Lauer performance not too far after that. But other than that, it been smooth sailing since then. Other than the 2 Galani Golovkin fights, which that is what it is. I thought he won both of them. That's my opinion, right? But you look, after that Floyd fight, his next toughest fights was, Arizona Lara. Some people believe the Cotto fight was closer than what it was. I mean, that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Then it was just Golovkin. So other than that, those are the only fights that he had of turbulence. I mean, but De La Hoya, judging you and then not being judging your team and then not being there to, guide you through it or console you afterwards and being there probably via telephone. I think that whole Floyd Mayweather fight started the turbulence, and then also he was looking at his own contract and seeing that some of that money from that deal allegedly was helping fund Golden Boy. So so now he just cut the middleman off and he plugged right on in. He's still paying Eddie Hearn, but he probably feel like he got more flexibility. With a set for 10 fights now, what I'm saying? He can be with 2 fights with Eddie, jump back with Al, do his own thing, plug right into the zone. So he can do whatever you want to do. Um, like I said before, that's what he want to do. He was mad over there. I think it was bigger than that. Like I said, looking from afar, Oscar De La Hoya ghosted him in the biggest fight of his career. And then you question the loyalty of my trainers? Like, come on. That's crazy. So yeah, I understand like where he coming from, bro. He young and you know what I'm saying, you know, He really young, and he got out of that deal. And he done well for himself. He stuck with Eddie. And he still done well for himself. So I can really say he did something wrong. Now, as far as De La Hoya criticizing him for not fighting Mexicans, that's true. If you're gonna be in some of those biggest fights, De La Hoya had to fight. Even though he was old, he had to fight Chavez. Saying you don't want to fight Benavidez. Most people think you avoiding Gilberto Ramirez, which he ain't really been in the public eye like that since he been top rank. He tried to do his own thing and then sound Golden Boy. And then Jaime might be fighting Charlo, might not be fighting Charlo. But then if he is fighting Charlo, then they gonna try to come at you. So you got the other promoters boxing you in and trying to get you fight other they trying to get you to fight other Mexican fighters. And you're gonna have to fight other Mexican fighters. That's just the fact of the matter. And then most people feel like you don't want to fight the black fighters. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you're just gonna keep beating up on white and European and ethnic fighters. I mean, that is what it is. I really don't care. You could choose to buy it or you could choose to not buy it. That's your opinion. But you look at uh De La Hoya did fight Chavez, which he thought that was going to take him to another stratosphere. That just got him more hated by Mexicans. The Mexican Americans roll with him. I mean, he did fight Trinidad, which is a fellow Latino. So I mean, he had to fight him. Fought another Hector Camacho at the end of his career, another Latino. Like I said, he fought Chavez, and he fought uh, he fought a lot of Puerto Ricans though. John Molina. He fought Giordano Hernandez. I think he was a Mexican American from Los Angeles. I mean, it is what it is. But he gotta fight those guys. He fought Jorge Paz, which it is what it is there. Yeah, I think he was born in Mexico. So I mean, so he fought a lot of Puerto Rican, but it was a lot of Puerto Rican fighters back then to fight. But I mean, it is what it is. Canelo not fighting Mexicans. That's Canelo not fighting Mexicans. So he basically criticized him for not fighting other Mexican fighters and saying he don't want to, but he said he has to fight them. He said at one point we're gonna have to face him either with Gilberto or Jaime. Said De La Hoya. So he says we think we kind of we're gonna have to lock in the corner. Jaime is being groomed to be the next big star. And what better fight with Canelo in the all Mexican class? We haven't seen one of those in a long time at the highest level. So that's an idea. So they plan on putting Ramirez in there or Jaime in there with him. If Jaime beat Charlo, then he right. If they do fight, that's gonna he gonna have to fight him then at some point in the near future. So that is what it is. That's crazy to me. But yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next to the subscribe button is the bell icon button. All my notifications. Hit all notifications, Christians and notifications. Want to make a financial donation. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the Boxless playlist. Hit the link tree link in the description. Take you everywhere I'm on social media producing content from Twitch, Twitter, to Spotify, much more. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you think about Oscar De La Hoya saying where the Canelo beef started at and saying Canelo dug a Mexican fighter.